ما قضيت. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وبارك على الأشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، حياكم الله جميعا وبارك الله فيكم. Alhamdulillah. Today I wish to discuss with you the ayah in Surah Al-Nisa, قول الله تعالى فلا ربك لا يؤمنون حتى يحكموك فيما شجر بينهم ثم لا يجدوا في أنفسهم حرجا مما قضيت ويسلموا تسليما. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, He states, and nay, none of them truly believe until they make you, I refer to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, a judge between them in their affairs that occur different. And they do not find within their own selves any resistance. And they have absolute submission. This ayah here, no doubt, is an asl from the usul of ittiba'i sunnah. That when it comes to the following of the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, then it's upon the individual that he is one that clings to that sunnah and has absolute submission. For we know that he, alayhi salatu wassalam, there's la khair, there's no good except that he invited us to it and called us to it. Wala sharra, and there's no evil, illa haddara or haddarana minhu or anhu, except that he warned us against it. And so when he states something, we know that he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, makes a statement or encourages us in a particular matter, is for our maslahah, for our overriding benefit. And so when we're informed of anything from the sunnah of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, then it's upon us to adhere to that and have absolute submission. And as we discussed in the previous sitting, we discussed the matter of ikhlas, and that the foundation of all our actions is tawheed, and that a person cannot perform actions except with tawheed. But likewise, a person cannot perform his righteous actions except with this matter of the sunnah, that he does so in accordance with the sunnah of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. As he mentions, Man ahdatha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa rad. That whoever newly invents an affair or matter in this affair of mine, i.e. the sunnah, then it is rejected. Any matter that is not found and does not mawafiq bi sunnah to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is not something which is accepted from him. The ibadah of the servant is that he must adhere to that which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with and act in accordance with that sunnah. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentions in the hadith, one of the hadith of Irbad ibn Sariya, he mentions وَمَنْ يَعِشْ مِنْكُمْ فَسَيَرَى اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. He says whoever lives from you, then indeed he will see much different. Whoever lives from you after the Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam will see much different. This particular wording here, or this statement from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is from the signs of his nubuwwah, from the signs of his prophecy, that he informs of a particular matter that will occur, and indeed it will occur, and it occurs. And he mentions this not ala wajhil mahmud, doesn't mention this as something which is praiseworthy from the things that will occur. Rather, this is a matter which is madhmoom, something which is blameworthy and evil, the splitting and different that will occur. However, he, alayhi salatu wassalam, he mentions alongside that, the ilaj, the remedy, the solution to that splitting and different, where he mentions, فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِسُنَّتِي وَسُنَّةُ خُلَفَاءِ الرَّاشِدِينَ الْمَهْدِيِّينَ مِنْ بَعْدِي. And thus he states after that, so upon you is my sunnah, and the sunnah of the rightly guided khulafa after me. He mentions after that, تَمَسِكُوا بِهَا عَدُّوا عَلَيْهَا بِالنَّوَاجِدِ. So he mentions, تَمَسِكُوا بِهَا, cling on to it. He emphasizes it, cling on to it. And this sunnah is of great importance, so we have to cling to it. Thereafter he mentions, عَدُّوا عَلَيْهَا بِالنَّوَاجِدِ, cling on to it with your molar-teeth, hold on to it with your molar-teeth. Why? Because, again, it's further emphasizing. This is something you have to cling on to. And when you reflect upon the lives that we live. And we face challenges to our deen. We face difficulties where you find individuals who question this matter of tamassuk with deen, the person adhering to the deen and the sunnah. And the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam likewise informed us of that. He mentioned, Bada Islam gharib, wa siyuna ghariba kama bada. He mentions that Islam began as something strange and it will return as something strange, just as it began. And so, when we face these trials, then we know that it's upon the individual to cling onto that sunnah, irrespective of the difficulty that comes in the way of that. Because within the sunnah is salvation. Adhering to that which the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam came with is success. Hence why the Messenger of Allah Ta'ala mentions this matter of holding on to the sunnah and taslim lil Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. He mentions it alongside the fact that this is a taslim, or this is iman. Allah Ta'ala mentions la yu'minun. They do not believe, or they will not truly believe until they make him sallallahu alaihi wasallam the judge. And so this matter of adhering to the sunnah is one of our iman, and one which you must cling to, irrespective of what comes by way of hardships and trials. Indeed, they will come. And this is why the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions that adhering to the sunnah and clinging onto the sunnah is like holding on to hot coals. Because there will become a time where it will be easier to turn away from it. A person may face more ease in terms of his dunya, more ease in terms of his relationships, if he turns away from it. And turns away from being upright. But there's no harm in being a gharib. Wala'ib. It's not something which should be looked down upon, that the person is regarded as being strange. If what is considered to be strange for is him adhering to the haqq. For the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned in the same narration, Islam began as something strange and will leave as something strange just as it began. Thereafter he mentions alayhi salatu wasalam, fatuba li ghuraba. So glad tidings be to the strangers. Glad tidings. Some other scholars also mention this word tuba referring to a particular valley in Jannah. That the individual, if he's regarded as a stranger, however, he's a stranger because he's adhering to the truth. He's a stranger because the sunnah has become strange amongst the people, but he is clinging to that sunnah. Then that valley within Jannah is reserved for him. And so no doubt, this is the goal. Irrespective of whatever happens within the years of your life that you live, we are here to worship Allah. We are here to please Him, Tabarak wa Ta'ala. And of course, we're here to try and attain Jannah. And that cannot be achieved except by adhering to the Sunnah. And likewise, adhering to the way of the Salaf Salih. As is mentioned by Awza'i, rahimahullah, he mentions, alaykum bi'athar al-Salaf wa in rafadaka an-nas. Upon you are the athar of the Salaf, adhering to the athar, the narration of the Salaf. Even if the people reject you. Even if the people reject you. The people's acceptance or the people's rejection is not of importance if your focus is seeking the pleasure of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. All our himmah should be, all that we regard as important, is that we receive the acceptance from our Lord Azza wa Jalla. They accept our actions. We put forth actions and He accepts them from us. Anything else is something which is secondary. For you may seek the pleasure of the people, but they will stand along with you. Yawm al-Qiyamah, asking for the rahmah of Allah, seeking out the mercy of Allah, hoping for their actions to be accepted. So why seek their approval, rather seek the approval of your Lord? And that comes about by way of being from the people of Sunnah and adhering to the Sunnah and adhering to the commands and staying away from the prohibitions, as we understand. And Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala knows best. I will conclude with that point, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakumullah khairan. We'll continue, inshallah, in a few days' time with another topic. Allah yafadakum jami'an wa barakallahu feekum wa sallallahu wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.